This is a very interesting authors page. A little bit confusing, but I think I remember this one. I think I understand. I think I found which one is the last one I read from this author. Yeah. So Lurk D is the next author. The last one we read from them was 1598, quite a while back, and it was some sort of like bug hybrid, like giant bug hybrid monster thing, which I can now see. I read that in December 20. Well, I published it in December 25th, 2023. Yeah, makes sense. And it got like almost 60 views. That's cool. I don't know why. For me, it's like so wild to think about. Like, yeah, a lot of my older videos, a lot of my older readings are still getting views to this day. So it's like it's very interesting to look at that and be like, oh yeah, of course, it makes sense that it gets views. It's like it's a whole archive, and the videos are still out there. Fun fact: this author wrote the second most upvoted article in the site. Oh damn! Okay, respect. Look D, respect. They wrote, "Mary had a little lamb." Did she now? Oh, it does say adult content. This article contains adult content that may not be suitable for all readers. Features non-consensual sexual acts. Oh boy. We had a couple of those SCPs in doing reading. Now, I'm not shy of reading it. I'm not shy of like going into this. But anybody watching this right now, if you don't like it, you can skip this video and just wait for the in 12 hours for the next SCP to come out. But yes, we shall dive in. Okay. First, I'm going to click on. I will click on continue and just see if there's any images I have to worry about, because you never know. I don't think SCP does that though. I don't think they ever add images that might get me in trouble. So let's just read this one. Object class Euclid. Special containment procedures. SCP-2401 and -alpha are to be stored together in Cell 22 at Research Site 45. Cell 22 must be stocked with 3 meters squared of potted wildflower with an automated drip irrigation system to maintain them. It's in the early 2500s, so you will see it in a month or so. Okay, cool. Yeah, if we keep steady pace, and a month and a half, we should be by the 2500s. A small electric incinerator designed for burning pine needles is to be installed near Cell 22 so that it can be supplied and operated by attending staff. Needles has a footnote that says, in insect husbandry, smoke from burning pine needles is an effective way of masking certain alarm pheromones naturally. Okay. The exhaust of the incinerator is to be piped directly into Cell 22 whenever SCP-2401 becomes excited or agitated. Plans for combining adjacent Cell 23 and with Cell 22 are currently awaiting approval. Also, did I read the right title, that's what I want to say. Dash Beta is to be held as a reserved designation until further notice. Description: SCP-2401 are a previously unknown species of honeybee that exhibits parasitic or symbiotic traits depending on the sex of the human host. I have a feeling, and the feeling's not good. To date, a sustainable colony of SCP-2401 has only been observed in one human female host. In all observed cases, male hosts expire typically within 9 to 12 days post-colonization from inflammatory complications caused by routine stinging and gross modification of dermal tissue. This also compromises the immune system, leaving male hosts vulnerable to anaerobic infection. After death of the male host, SCP-2401 will leave the body in search of another human host. Colonization does differ slightly in female hosts, whereas there is a much lesser risk of infection due to the higher levels of propolis production. Propolis. Propolis. Oh, is that how you say it? Propolis? Actually, I'm going to have Google tell me this. Prononciation?
Propolis.
Propolis, okay. Propolis is a resinous mixture that honeybees collect from botanical sources to prevent diseases and parasites from entering the hive and to inhibit fungal and bacterial growth. By the way, English, why the fuck? You're using two O's, but the first O is read like an A? Propolis? Are you kidding me? Once 30 to 50% of the dermis is modified into a keratin-based honeycomb, the colonization reaches a stable state and does not expand further. After this process is completed, SB2401 exhibits standard protective behavior towards the host, treating them as a nest. SB2401 adopt host scent markers, adjusting colonial odor markers to match the host. This process sensitizes SB2401 to be emotional and physical condition of the host. Sensitizes SB2401 to the emotional and physical condition. Gotcha. The female host also undergoes rapid changes to both accommodate and protect SB2401, which include increased tissue regeneration, higher amphetamine output, and lack of dependency for food or water. In the majority of cases, the female host retains their personality and memories, which usually results in psychological trauma related with the ongoing symbiosis of SB2401. Why do you have to keep the female one sentient of what's happening around her? Come on. This is seen to result in a high rate of suicide in cases where the host outright rejects symbiosis. Only one surviving case has shown a distinct interest in maintaining the symbiotic relationship between itself and SB2401. For all intents and purposes, she has been designated as -alpha. Level 2 access required. Document Doc 2401T1. No, the following written entries were confiscated from Dr. Kenneth Lamb hard drive. They contain sensitive information regarding -alpha and are to remain on the high security data server. Date 1st 4th 2015. Time 1632. D6780 and D9343 have both been exposed to SB2401. This is the second trial study as to the effect of SB2401 on a human host. Thus far, we have not been successful in sustaining a host for more than a period of 30 days. A viable host able to survive the colonization process will be the first step into discovering a way to reverse the process and revert the host back to normalcy. Sure. It has been difficult to requisition female D-class because of the scarcity. It's the only option since SCP-2401 and male D-class hosts cannot coexist without killing the host's body. Due to the issues in previous tests, the two female hosts will be kept on suicide watch while symptoms progress. Okay, 1st 8th 2015, 9:44. Both D6780 and D9343 are progressing quickly with SCP-2401 and are in relatively good health. Today, however, D6780 had to be sedated via aerosol before the host caused further self-injury. D9343 has been minimally responsive during this period. I've asked repeatedly for the medical records of both D-class hosts prior to testing. The paperwork seems to be conveniently missing in administration. Date 1st 15th 2015, 22:01. 4 hours ago, D6780's attempt at drowning in the cell's commode proved successful by clogging it with daily food rations and filling it up with water. Cell 21 is currently under quarantine until the decontamination teams can assemble in the morning. I'm hoping for a more viable autopsy than the previous ones. D9343 seems to be much calmer during this process. So far, the host is the only one who has made it this far in SCP-2401's colonization. I've requested from maintenance and from the site director to modify Cell 22 as to help better accommodate SCP-2401 and the host. I'm also still waiting for release medical records. Date 1st 26 2015, 12:55. D9343 and SCP-2401 have successfully achieved full symbiosis. D9343 has been designated as -alpha and has been observed to be much more active. After reviewing video footage, I've noticed that -alpha does not eat or drink, it seems. Administration has finally delivered Administration has finally delivered records on D9343, but they are from her previous institution of incarceration. Unfortunately, the information is severely lacking in detail, with the exception of her criminal record. I'll review this information and perhaps use it during my upcoming interviews with her. It is kind of messed up to like just force like a hive into a person's body. Like, just be like, yeah, just accept it. Just accept this parasite thing into you. Date 1st 27th 2015, 14/3. I got on my first interview with Dash Alpha. She seemed relatively eager to see another face after nearly a month of solitary confinement. I asked her about her symptoms and she explained while in the beginning she was experiencing a great deal of pain, most of that had been curtailed and she feels much better. So they go through pain as well. A quick physical examination conducted through the observation window concluded that she is estimated to have 50% of her body surface converted into honeycomb-like structures, many of which contain SCP-2401 in various stages of maturity. I questioned about where SCP-2401 originates from, but Dash Alpha could not answer. Date 1st 30th 2015. By the way, I did do some music, right? I did, yeah, okay, good. I went over Dash Alpha's criminal records with her. She had trouble recollecting much of her past for some reason, most of which had to deal with abusive relatives at a young age before being placed in foster care till she was 15. I was unable to continue with the rest of her background as I noticed she was growing more and more agitated. I used a newly installed smoker for the first time to help her calm down. She was effectively suppressed, and I concluded for the day. 2nd 2015, 13:47. Before I was able to conduct the interview, Dash Alpha was adamant about apologizing for her behavior in the previous interview. She introduced herself by her first name, Mary, and asked me mine. I introduced myself as well. Her intention seemed harmless. Afterwards, she tried multiple times to derail the interview with small talk. I was able to keep her focused on explaining her symptoms. Mary attempted to explain her dream she had involving me, but could not recall specific details. Mary, what are you dreaming about, Mary? Mary had a little lamb, Mary. What are you dreaming about? Mary attempted to explain the dream she had. I asked her question regarding her mental state and wrote some additional notes to discuss with the on-site psychologist. Date 2nd 3rd 2015, time 22:25. Mary has stated in her interview today that she is experiencing a recurring dream, though upon waking up she can't recall any of it other than I am in it as well. I asked her if she would like writing supplies in order to keep a dream journal. She agreed. However, the request was denied by my superior. Mary had a little parasitic bee colony. Yeah, not sure where the lamb comes from, right? Mary spends her time preoccupied with her own thoughts. At times, she appears rather lucid and unresponsive. I requested for additional items to help improve stimulus. However, they are repeatedly denied. That's... okay. What? 2nd 4th 2015, 1:10. Mary and I have been meeting on a daily basis now. Her demeanor has been deteriorating, it seems. Off-ship guards have informed me that she has to be smoked nightly. When I confronted Mary with this information, she said that it was because of her dreams. She still maintains that she can't recall them after awakening. My recent discussion with the on-site psychologist over my notes are still inconclusive as to Mary's mental condition. I'll continue to visit Mary daily to gain more details on improving her mental state. Aside from that, the SCP-2401 colony appeared to be thriving and in optimum health. Poor Mary, she's just slowly falling apart as these things are like doing who knows what. Level 3 access required. Incident report, oh boy. Is it with Mary? Incident date 2nd 14th 2015, so 10 days later. 11:15, research site 45, secured humanoids containment wing cell 22, unique identifier autofill 2401-021415, civilian involved N, personal involved Y. Number of personnel involved: 3 injury, deaths, 1 minor injury, 2 major injuries. Okay, no death. Amnestic used, yes, by request. SCP involved, yes. Designation Alpha containment breached. Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of things going wrong. Details: Dash Alpha prior to incident exhibited agitated behavior for a period of 10 days. Dash Alpha had difficulty expressing the source of its agitation, often deploying cryptic statements and referring to itself in the first person plural by its actual name prior to symbiosis. Dr. Kenneth Lamb I'm staring at you guys because you know what the name has to do. The name Kenneth Lamb, the acting supervisor of SB2401, postulated that Dash 1 was delirious. 72 hours prior to the incident, Dash Alpha suffered from an apparent seizure and collapsed onto the floor. Time was noted and logged. The body was kept under watch as standard in the operating procedures for human subject quarantine. After 48 hours, the site director extended quarantine to cell 22 for another 24 hours. No activity was observed from the host or the colony. The cell floor was littered with dead instances of SCP-2401 at this time. Also, that's where the lamb comes from. Yeah, let's hope the lamb doesn't do anything weird. Personnel and security entered cell 22 after the quarantine period expired in order to retrieve the body for examination and autopsy. While decontaminating and preparing the body to transfer, Dash Alpha suddenly awakened and physically attacked security. Both guards suffered concussions from the altercation. Dr. Lamb was then tackled to the floor outside of containment, stripped of his clothes by Dash Alpha. Here it goes. And here it goes. On video, Dr. Lamb was held down on his back with Dash Alpha atop of him for a period of 90 seconds. From the video's limited vantage point, it was difficult to ascertain what was happening to Dr. Lamb as he showed limited signs of struggle. Afterwards, the majority of security forces subdued Dash Alpha with electroshock weaponry to force it off Dr. Lamb and back into containment. Dr. Lamb suffered only a dislocated shoulder and minor abrasions. Dash Alpha has since replenished the SB2401 colony to a fully restored population. It has been observed to be more docile as compared to before the incident. So the moment the hive inside seems to be suffering from, dying and being smoked out, that happens. Addendum 1. Due to the Dash Alpha's recent containment breach, staff and security teams are prohibited from entering Cell 22 or conversing with Dash Alpha without direct authorization from the site director. Further research into SCP-2401 or Dash Alpha has been put on hold indefinitely. Yeah. Maybe. I wonder what happens if, all the bees die. Is then the host free? Or do they also die? Well, I guess they also die. Yeah, they'll probably also die. Level 3 access required. Post-incident interview 3. Interview date 2nd 15th 2015. Interview time 4:30. Research site 45 officers. Interviewer senior internal investigator Ruben Foster. Interviewees researcher Dr. Kenneth Lamb. Oh, okay, we actually interviewing Mr. Lamb. Okay. All right, recorder's on. How are you holding up? I'm still in shock over the whole thing, I guess. Was Dr. Lamb also the one who... Yeah, it was also the one taking notes. I'm still in shock of the whole thing, I guess. Well, let me just ask. Why do you think you were chosen? I don't know. Well, you were assigned to her. Right, for 3 months. You interviewed with it every other day, it looks like. I monitor other humanoids in that wing too. So back to my original question. Perhaps, maybe the human inside, it made a connection? Either way, it got what it wanted from me. Oh god. You feel like you can continue? I suppose. Sorry, I'm still rattled over the whole thing. Well, medically you checked out fine. Just bumps and scratches. So there's that. Look, I don't want to push you after something traumatic like that. Anything you want to say on the record? I want the injection. Give me the injection and give me a transfer. Please. God, I gotcha. I'll see what I can do. Yeah, I mean, that is absolutely reasonable to be like, hey, just let me forget this, but also at the same time, put me somewhere else. Because I don't want to experience this for the second time. I don't want to be a victim to this again. Fully fair, Dr. Lamb. Fully fair. Addendum second. Doctor is to be transferred out of research site 45 after he's fully debriefed on the containment breach incident involving himself and Dash Alpha. He has opted for an immediate amnestic solution and will be demoted to level 0 permanently for security reasons. Continued observation and reporting on his behaviors within the Foundation will be monitored for a period of no less than 3 years. And then level 3 access required. Oh, we have another interview. 16th, 2015, so a month later. 22-5, research site 45, secured humanoid containment wing, cell 22. Then we have senior internal investigator Ruben Foster. Ruben Foster's back again with Dash Alpha. Recorder on, SCP-Mary. Excuse me? Oh god, okay. We are Venom. We like to be called Mary. Fine. Mary. What was your relationship to Dr. Lamb? Relationship? Is that what he called it? Him and us. Never mind. Can you explain that then what you did to him the last time you two were together back in February? We remember him being quiet and rather content about it. Well, he was adamant about not wanting to see you ever again. We don't believe you. We are happy with the outcome still. Dash Alpha slowly rubs her hands over her swollen abdomen. This about the cycle? It is, and it is not. We need sterner hosts. The females are fragile yet willful. Strong queens for strong colonies. Our sweet Kenny, tell him for us that his progeny grows stronger with each passing day. Tell him we all await his return. Yeah, I'll pass that along. Sustained buzzing. Turns off intercom to cell 22. Technician. Technician. You aren't actually considering that request, are you? No, fuck that. Do me a favor though. See the button for the incinerator? Yes, sir? Smoker. Click. Oh, okay. just straight up burned her alive. Wow. Wow. Yeah, I mean, it is pretty. So, Collarbone, I want to ask you, and I want to ask people in the chat, in the YouTube comment section. Do you think that Dr. Lamb was actually slowly but surely being infatuated with Mary? Like, because like, not only did they have apparently a good connection with like small talk, but he did say, "I'll come by daily," and maybe the amnestics plus transferring to a different place is not only because of the trauma, but also maybe because of the shame that he fell in love with a person that was infected by an anomaly. The fact that he maybe didn't fully fight back. Because it does say in the video log, like he seems to be letting it happen almost. Like there's a couple like bruises, yes, sure, but it does seem like he didn't really fully stop it, or like from his face or like from his behavior, he seemed to like let it kind of happen. So I want to know, do you guys think he was infatuated with her, so that when that happened, it was like, yeah, it was a shock, but it was not like something he was against. Or let's dive even deeper. Do you think that the SCP actually did tell him that, like, something about a progeny, that, you know, because he did say she got what she wanted from me. So part of me also thinks the anomaly actually told him that they need to have sex, you know? And he probably at first denied it. It was like, oh no, we can't do that because, you know, I'm a Foundation staff member and you're an anomaly. I can't add to the anomalous effect or anything like that. So yeah, you guys tell me in the comments, and Catapon, I hope you can give me an answer here, because I am curious what you all think. I hope people will write something in the comment down. Lays infected with a full beehive inside the body, controlling their action and emotions. Do not let the hive die out. Otherwise, they might do something quite traumatic to themselves or to another person. I mean, maybe a little at the beginning, but after, I don't know if you wanted to have sex. Yeah. I'm just offering like two, like we have three options. Either he was not aware of any of this, but he made a conclusion that's what the anomaly wanted. He was aware of it, but did not want to do it. Or he was aware of it and he just kind of let it happen. I'm picking option number 2 because I feel like there's a lot of moments where it's like he may have been infatuated with her because he was like, oh, I'm gonna visit her more and more, and there's a high chance the anomaly did tell him what she wanted, and he couldn't and didn't want to do that, because I feel like when he says because the moment he's like, oh, she got what she wanted from me, that for me is like a hint that like they discussed this before, and he probably did not want that to happen. So yeah, I'm definitely leaning more towards option 2. He was aware of that this would eventually, like, that the anomaly wanted to have sex with him. He was infatuated with her, but then when this happened, it was definitely not part of what he thought would be the case. Like, yeah. I think he wanted to be with her, but did not expect to be forced into that. I mean, how horny do you have to be? I see that. To fuck a parasitic beehive, pun intended. I mean, at the end, from the outside, it still looks like a human being, right? It still looks like a woman. So he probably was like, still looks like a woman, and like you were still able to communicate to them like it was Mary, but then like, yeah, when Asian Foster talked to her and it was like, oh, like, we are married, then you're like, okay, now now you're not the same person anymore.